Hello, everybody. It's Dark Strider, the YouTube assassin. And yesterday I put up a video asking about what your hopes, fears, and a list of just basically things that you would like to either see in or dropped from the Assassin's Creed series, especially with Assassin's Creed Odyssey right around the corner. Now, a lot of you had some great input. It was like really incredible, like how many of you responded and how many of you either agree or disagree or even have other things that you didn't want to see or that you did want to see more of in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But now, here's something that a lot of people have been talking about, which, was one of the things that people believed was going to be the new Assassin's Creed game. Now, we heard that they were going to have empires, it was going to be named Dynasty, and then, a couple of people thought maybe they were going to take us to World War II. And the World War II theme kind of stuck because, in my opinion, or at least when I first thought about it, I thought that maybe World War II wasn't a great scenario. I thought that maybe, and my feelings behind this were that it was too close to present day. I kind of felt like, Assassin's Creed, the past should take place deep in the past where everything seemed like magic. And then, the present day would be all of the assassins that, like Layla Hassan or Desmond, who are trying to like figure out what the heck is going on or trying to find these relics. Now, I actually looked into a couple of things. One of the things was there is a comic. It's called Assassin's Creed Conspiracies, and it takes place with an assassin who's brand new. His name is Eddie Gorm, and he's supposed to be infiltrating the Templars to prevent them from unleashing the atomic bomb and causing an atomic age. So basically, if Eddie Gorm doesn't succeed, then the Assassin's Creed series becomes the Fallout series, which it's just funny in itself. But as a lot of you know, I've been playing Assassin's Creed 2 and doing what I call an Assassin's Creedology, where I'm playing through all the Assassin's Creed games and trying to find out certain things. Now, a couple of the things that I found in this game actually deals with these glyphs. In the glyphs, there's a couple of scenarios that are found where when you find the third glyph, okay, first of all, Subject 16, he put these glyphs throughout, just like the one I'm looking at right now. He put it throughout the Animus in Italy. It's your job to find them, and then it's not just finding them. There's a puzzle that accompanies it. You have to decode it. And decoding it is basically, like how you find out certain things. Now, one of the things that was found was on the third glyph puzzle, you see a picture of FDR along with a couple of other strategists during a strategy meeting in 1944, and right by FDR's feet, he has one of the pieces of Eden that we call the apple. Now, there's 4 different apples that are numbered piece of Eden or PE 1 through 4, which is really crazy in itself. So now, in the a further glyph, you find, I believe it's glyph 12, okay? You find a letter that you have to decode in one of these glyph puzzles, and it's a letter from Henry Ford to Thomas Edison. Now, the funny thing about this is that we're assuming that they're Templars because they talk about the piece of Eden. And this is actually the letter that they had. Dear Mr. Edison, I wanted to thank you for letting me make use of PE4, which that was the apple, all these years. Among several things, I was able to convince workers I was raising their pay to $5 a day when in fact I gave them a pay cut. But I had to let PE4 go. As per instructions, I've shipped it to Europe. It goes on to say, H has it. Now, H, we assume, would be Hitler, and this is why I assume it will be Hitler. It says, H has it. I assume the war will begin as soon as he can take over. We'll let him have his fun. Lord knows that kind of purge will be good for Europe, and then end it with a bang as planned. Out of the chaos of war, a new order will emerge. I've enclosed a picture from Florida of you, me, and Firestone. We should attempt to spend more time on the golf course this summer. Yours truly, Henry Ford. Now, that has a lot of implications. That means that Ubisoft actually kind of thought of this, and they thought of the concept of having Henry Ford actually being a Templar, and I guess using the piece of Eden, the apple, to warp the minds of the workers so that, you know, he's paying them less and getting more production out when he created the car. And possibly the designs for the car came from the Apple of Eden. Maybe that's how he came up with the whole thing. So now H, you know, obviously that would be Hitler, and he sent the apple to Hitler over in Europe, and you know they're talking about the war starting and you know everything ending with a bang. They're going to like destroy the world or destroy, you know, just most of Europe, or start like some kind of atomic war, which obviously, you know, it's going to be, you know, some kind of like nonsense going on. So I could see where the apple came into play, where the piece of Eden came into play. Because I was thinking initially, how would they even, you know, do that? This was all, you know, men at war. You know, there were no relics or anything like that. They, you know, even though if you do watch like History Channel and things like that, they do say that Hitler was very interested in the occult and obtaining like weird relics and everything from the past. So that could play into like the whole Assassin's Creed theme. So I could see that happening. All right. You know, like this purge that he's talking about was obviously the Holocaust, you know, sad moment in history. And, you know, sad isn't even the word for it. But it would actually be something incredible if we saw reasons why, you know, they did that, you know, if they could come up with some kind of like crazy reason. Then again, they might not get too deep into that just because it's a, you know, it's a touchy time in history, you know, but we'll see what happens. Maybe they will have a World War II theme. Now, later on, when you get to the 17th glyph and you unlock that puzzle, you get a letter that's from Abstergo to some nameless person, and it says, May 2nd, 1945. The war is over, and we are in control as planned. A slight concern has arisen. I've received word from our agents in Berlin. H was supposed to execute his double inside the bunker and meet C. Now, we know who H is. That's Hitler. I don't know who C is. He was supposed to meet C at the rendezvous point with the piece of Eden. It's been it's been 3 days, and he still hasn't appeared. Something must have gone awry. Please send instructions. So somehow, you know, maybe they bombed Hitler, and, you know, Hitler wasn't able to escape, and the piece of Eden was lost. That's one possibility. And it's even furthered by Clay, who is Subject 16. And he says clearly when you're exploring that one area or that one glyph, he clearly says they emerged, they engineered the war, they engineered the peace. They didn't see us coming, which and that meant that the assassins actually got to him, and most likely, you know, that was them bombing his facility where he was supposed to meet with his, or he was supposed to assassinate his own body double, and then meet with somebody else at a rendezvous point. That's basically what I'm getting from that. But, I mean, this would actually be an interesting point in history. I actually, like I said, I initially thought, you know, maybe not. You know, one of my reasons was the whole, you know, concept of the past and the past and the present and the present. You know, other things were, you know, just how would they do that? How would they work that out? You know, there's so many things that they would have to do. And apparently this is something that was thought of in the Assassin's Creed itself, in Assassin's Creed 2, as early as that. Now, other people have told me also, if you play through Unity, it happens right before World War II. So, you know, there's supposed to be a lot of different things in there and different nods to the idea of World War II and a World War II setting. I think that some people are kind of biased about it. Some people don't really care for a World War II setting, only because, you know, when you think World War II, you think of like Call of Duty and games like that. You know, you don't really think Assassin's Creed. So, you know, there's some concern, you know, maybe it's not going to be as good because, you know, you see games like that and it's going to be heavy on like, you know, like guns instead of the hidden blades and whatnot. But the hidden blades, I could see them still working with hidden blades in this game. You know, there has to be some kind of subterfuge going on in the game. You know, it's called Assassin's Creed. You're an assassin. You're not, you know, a soldier. It's not Soldier's Creed. So, you know, maybe you could be a soldier and you've got some kind of, you know, like assassin training or something like that. I don't know what this Eddie Gorham deal is. I really have to get my hands on this comic and I'll give it a read and I'll give my further input on it. But, you know, like I say, it could be an interesting point in history. It could be an interesting game depending on how it's done. All right. You know, in every Assassin's Creed game, they do different things. So maybe in this game, instead of having, you know, like obviously camels and horses and stuff like that, maybe you're rolling around in like tanks. Maybe you're rolling around in planes. You know, maybe there's different methods of transportation that would just look really cool. You know, I could see where, you know, like my concerns about it being more modern, you know, that was my concern, but I can see where maybe they cut it out. Maybe they stop it. Maybe there's something different to it. You know, it's not, it's modern, but still mystical at the same time because they are still looking for relics and pieces of Eden. Maybe the assassin goes into Hitler's storerooms and warehouses and actually finds all these like ancient artifacts and relics and stuff like that. And maybe that's why the assassins had to bomb him. Maybe it was just, oh my God, this guy is going to like come out and he's going to have all these different relics and pieces of Eden and conquer the world in that way. And they had to stop him. You know, there's a little more play than I initially thought as far as World War II goes. And like I said, you know, they did lay down some framework for a World War II thing or a World War II theme. There could be many different points of history where they explore, but it actually would kind of be cool to see something like World War II. I don't know if they said they wouldn't touch it. I know they said they wouldn't touch Japan with the whole ninja thing. But when we thought Dynasty was coming out, that kind of changed their minds because the way it was going, it would have had to have been, you know, some kind of Asian thing. Or, you know, it could have even been an Egyptian thing because it was Dynasty. But those are all, you know, like different things and different thoughts. We're not Ubisoft. We don't know what they're going to do next. You know, sometimes they hit the mark like they did with Origins and you know, sometimes we get like Syndicate and things like that where they were good, but not the expectations that a lot of the fan base had. But anyway, I want to know what your idea is. What do you think of a World War II theme? A lot of people that are for it are like wholeheartedly for it. And then a lot of people that like, you know, don't want it, they're like really against it. And, you know, everybody has different opinions. Everybody has a different idea of why they should or should not have that. And I want to know yours. Let me know what you think. Should there be a World War II theme? I mean, obviously the next game is going to be Odyssey and it's going to be a Greek theme, but what would you think of a World War II theme? Do you think that it could work in the Assassin's Creed world? Do you think it could work as like an Animus project where somebody actually jumps into the Animus trying to figure that out or trying to look for something in World War II? What information do you think they'd be looking for? Do you think they'd be looking for relics, or do you think they'd be looking for why Hitler was stopped? What is your reasoning? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot. And like I said, let me know your opinions. Your opinions are highly valuable to me, and I really enjoy hearing from the entire community and you know, the fan base. I want to know what's going on. What do you guys think? What's in your minds? Maybe Ubisoft like watches this video and you know they put some thought into like further adventures. Let me know. And as always, thank you for watching.